this gradation.
Yeah, I noticed that in the articles you published on 9/11, Michael, you have made a couple of really egregious factual errors, and I'll just leave those aside and mention that one not so much factual error, but still a major error, is in that article you argue that it's Americans' unfamiliarity with the Middle East that leads them to see this pattern of a possible government conspiracy rather than a conspiracy of 19 Arabs with box cutters led by a guy on dialysis in the cave in Afghanistan. The problem with that is twofold. First, many Middle East experts were among the very first people to point out the likelihood of an inside job on 9/11. I'm an Arabist Islamologist with a PhD from here. Bruce Lawrence, the leading American bin Laden expert and author of the best book on bin Laden, leans toward the inside job hypothesis, as does Robert Barrett, America's top Middle East CIA representative. So here's the question. Do you consider the possibility that you may not be a real skeptic, but rather a true believer in skepticism, and you're applying a pattern recognition thing on all of reality in order to think that any unorthodox thoughts must be wrong and the orthodox ones must all be right?
Oh! Practically made my brain hurt. It was like four double negatives in there. Yes, of course I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong about any number of things. And yeah, maybe 9/11 along with Pearl Harbor was an inside job. Or, you know, there's several different kinds of 9/11 inside jobs. There's the Bush administration orchestrated it, and then there's the Bush administration knew about it and let it happen so that we could implement the New World Order and so forth. Okay, well, again, the reason I think it's more likely what they said it is, they being bin Laden himself took credit for it. They tried to blow up the World Trade Center building in '93. They blew up the USS Cole. They blew up our embassies. They said they're going to do things like this. They did 7/7. They did Spain. They continue to do. They did the underwear bomber. I mean, why don't we take them at their word? They said they're going to do this because of our Middle Eastern policies, and they're doing it. So I think that's one aspect, and the other aspect is my recognition of the bumbling bureaucracy that is big government. I mean, I was on G. Gordon Liddy's radio show once, the Watergate guy, right? And so he asked me about conspiracy theories. I said, well, you're the guy. I mean, you were the one who did it. So he said, yeah, there's two basic problems. The competency problem, these bureaucrats can't pull off anything, a bunch of idiots. And two is the leakage problem. They can't keep their mouth shut. I mean, think of the number of people, the hundreds, if not thousands of people that have to be in on the job in the government, and not one of them wants to go on Larry King Live to spill the beans. You know what I saw? I saw these guys doing this and that. Writing books. Look what happens to any government agent once they are out of the administration. They retire. They write books, they go on the lecture circuit, they go on the TV shows, the talk shows, and they spill all the little dirty secrets about this president or that president and so on. This is what people do. They can't keep their mouth shut. Not one person allegedly associated with 9/11 has done anything like that. So those are the two reasons I take the position that I do.